They say the best garden is one with zero bugs. But is it? Because before all this, things actually worked better. Back then, bugs weren't the enemy. They were part of the system. A garden wasn't silent or empty. It was alive. You'd see insects moving, flying, crawling. And somehow, everything still thrived. Plants grew, soil stayed rich, and problems didn't spiral out of control the way they do now. So the question is, what really changed? The problem? Somewhere along the way, we were told every insect is a threat. That if you see a bug, it must be removed. Immediately, completely. Spray everything, kill everything, control everything. And just like that, gardening became complicated. What used to feel natural started to feel like a constant battle. More chemicals, more costs, more effort trying to keep things perfect. But even then, more problems keep showing up anyway. You fix one issue, another appears. You spray again and something else weakens. And slowly, without realizing it, we made the garden dependent on intervention. They made this harder than it needed to be. Now the soil is weaker, not as alive as it used to be. Plants depend on sprays, instead of building their own strength. And the balance that once held everything together is gone. What used to work naturally now feels like something you have to force every single day. And maybe the most frustrating part is this. Even after all the effort, it still doesn't feel like enough. Because the more we try to control everything, the more unstable it becomes. But this new method, it's actually not how it used to be. Before all the products, before shelves were filled with sprays and quick fixes, gardeners understood something simple. Not everything in the garden was a problem. Not all bugs are bad. And that one idea changed everything. Because instead of reacting to every insect with fear, they observed first. They paid attention. They understood what was actually happening in their garden. Some insects were left alone on purpose. Because some protect your plants. Some keep harmful pests in check. What looks like a problem at first is sometimes the solution you didn't even know you needed. Aphids show up. And shortly after, so do the insects that feed on them. Tiny predators, working quietly in the background. No chemicals. No intervention. Just balance. And the more you allow that balance to exist, the less you have to step in. That's the part we forgot. We were taught to act immediately, to remove anything that doesn't look perfect. But in doing that, we interrupt a system that was already solving the problem. We forgot something important. Nature already had a system. It wasn't based on control. It was based on relationships. Every insect, every organism, every layer of the soil, playing a role. Nothing existed in isolation. And when that system is left to function, it regulates itself far better than we ever could. The goal was never to eliminate life from the garden. It was to support the right kind of life. Because a completely clean garden, with no insects, no activity, no movement, isn't healthy. It's imbalanced. And an imbalanced garden will always require more effort, more input, more fixing. But the moment you shift your perspective, the moment you stop seeing every bug as the enemy, everything starts to make more sense. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to see which insects show up and why. And instead of constantly fighting your garden, you start understanding it. And that's where things begin to change. Ladybugs eat aphids. Spiders catch harmful insects. Bees pollinate your crops. Simple, small creatures, doing exactly what they were meant to do. Back then, gardens weren't lifeless and controlled. They were alive, full of movement, full of purpose. Every insect, every worm, every tiny organism had a role to play. And because of that balance, plants grew stronger without constant interference. They didn't need sprays, chemicals, or endless attention. The system worked quietly, naturally, and reliably. Think about it. A ladybug lands on a leaf. It consumes dozens of aphids. A spider spins its web. It traps the pests that would otherwise damage your plants. Bees move from flower to flower, pollinating, fertilizing, and allowing fruit and flowers to thrive. All of it, without human intervention. This wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. It was nature's design at work. A garden like this isn't chaotic, it's perfectly organized. And here's the key. The stronger the natural balance, the stronger the plants. Plants with strong roots, healthy leaves, and natural defenses resist disease better. They require less water, less care, less worrying. This used to be simple. A garden was a living system, not a battlefield. We didn't have to kill everything we saw. We didn't need to control every leaf or insect. We just observed, learned, and trusted the natural rhythms. But we changed it. We introduced chemicals. We removed insects indiscriminately. We tried to make gardens sterile and perfect. And in the process, we lost something far more important than convenience. We lost the balance. And without that balance, plants became weaker. Gardens became fragile. And now, we struggle to recreate something that was already there. So here's what the proof really tells us. You don't need to fight nature to have a thriving garden. You need to understand it. You need to allow the helpers to do their work. You need to observe, protect, and respect the balance that has existed for centuries. When you do that, plants grow stronger naturally. Bugs aren't your enemy, they're your allies. And your garden becomes easier to care for, more productive, and more beautiful. All without the constant stress of trying to control everything. Because the truth is simple. Balance works. Nature works. And when we let it, our gardens flourish exactly as they were always meant to. You don't need to fight everything in your garden. The first step is simple. Stop reacting immediately. Stop spraying at the first sign of bugs. Yes, it feels natural to panic when you see an insect on a leaf. But not every bug is harmful. Some are quietly working for you, protecting your plants, keeping pests in check, even improving the soil. Start small. Instead of trying to control everything at once, observe. Notice which insects appear. Notice how your plants respond. Notice the natural patterns unfolding before your eyes. Learn to recognize helpful insects. Ladybugs, bees, spiders. These are your allies. They don't just exist, they actively contribute to the health of your garden. Plant flowers that attract pollinators. A few bright blooms here and there can transform your garden into a thriving ecosystem. Not only do pollinators help your crops and flowers, but they also bring life and movement, balancing the ecosystem naturally. Let a little imperfection exist. A chewed leaf or a few aphids doesn't spell disaster. It's a sign that life is happening, that nature is in motion, and that, in turn, encourages the natural predators to arrive and restore balance. Observe more, react less. Spend time watching, not spraying. Take note of what works and what doesn't, rather than blindly following the instructions on a bottle. Your garden will tell you what it needs if you listen. Start to think of your garden not as something you control, but as a living system you interact with. It's not about forcing perfection. It's about supporting balance. Over time, you'll notice changes. Healthier soil that retains nutrients and water. Stronger, more resilient plants that resist pests naturally. Less need for chemicals, less cost, less stress. A garden that feels alive, not artificial. The goal isn't just a beautiful garden, it's a self-sustaining ecosystem. And the best part, once you start this approach, gardening becomes less work and more joy. You stop worrying about every little imperfection. You start to enjoy the process, noticing the life, movement, and rhythm around you. So, here's what to do today. Pause before spraying. Let insects live if they're harmless. Learn and identify. Research which bugs are beneficial. Encourage life. Plant flowers and herbs that attract pollinators. Accept imperfection. Let your garden grow organically, without forcing perfection. Observe. Watch patterns. Listen to the garden. React mindfully. Only intervene when necessary. The shift is simple, but powerful. Stop controlling. Start observing. Work with your garden, not against it. Because when you respect nature's balance, your garden doesn't just survive, it thrives. And in that thriving, you'll find something more than just plants. You'll find the joy and satisfaction of life growing, the way it was always meant to grow. Maybe the problem was never the bugs. Maybe it was never the leaves that were chewed, or the flowers that wilted for a day, or the tiny pests that appeared out of nowhere. Maybe the problem was the idea that everything had to be controlled. Somewhere along the way, we began to believe that a perfect garden meant a garden without life. A garden where every insect, every imperfection, every small imbalance was eliminated immediately. And in chasing that perfection, we forgot a fundamental truth. Life thrives in balance, not in control. Because when you try to remove every imperfection, every problem you see, you might be removing the very things keeping your garden alive. The bugs that nibble at leaves. Some are scouts for predators that will quietly keep other pests in check. The slight yellowing of a plant. Sometimes it's a signal, not a disaster, a natural process telling you what it needs. Even weeds, in small numbers, play a role protecting the soil, attracting helpful insects, or providing nutrients when they decompose. Sometimes, the things we call problems are actually part of the solution. They're not the enemy, they're a message, a guide, a subtle reminder that nature has its own rhythm, its own system, far older and wiser than any chemical or spray we can apply. Gardening is not about perfect leaves or flawless blooms. It's about understanding, observing, and participating in a living ecosystem. Here's what that means for you. Stop rushing to fix every small issue. Observe patterns, not just symptoms. Recognize the helpers from the threats. Allow your garden to teach you what it needs, rather than blindly following a product label. When you stop trying to control every detail, you allow life to flourish. You allow the natural processes that have worked for centuries to do their job. You allow your soil to strengthen, your plants to resist disease naturally, and your garden to find its own harmony. This lesson isn't just about gardening, it's a lesson about life too. Control feels safe, but balance brings freedom. Trying to eliminate every imperfection may leave you exhausted and frustrated, while stepping back, observing, and allowing things to exist naturally brings clarity, growth, and results. So the next time you see a bug, or a wilted leaf, or a small imperfection, pause, observe, ask yourself, could this actually be part of the solution? Could this problem be helping my garden in ways I haven't yet seen? Because in the end, gardens, like life, aren't meant to be micromanaged. They're meant to be understood, respected, and nurtured. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. You stop seeing problems everywhere. You start seeing patterns, life, and opportunities. You stop fighting nature, and instead, you work with it. And that's when your garden, and everything in it, truly begins to thrive.